Hello everyone. Today we are going to be doing something different. A lot of you asked details about my recent trip, which was to Turks and Caicos. You guys wanted to see pictures and you also wanted to know the price of the resort and some of the excursions that we did. So that's what today's video is going to be about. This is not something that we normally do, but I wanted to make sure I got this out for you guys. So we are just going to go ahead and get into it. So I have my iPad on the side, so I'm just going to be showing you guys videos and pictures as I'm talking. But first of all, this trip started off, me and Mr. Bailey had to drive from Michigan to Ohio, which depending on where you're going, it could not be that far. Like if we was going to Toledo, it would only be like 40 minutes, 45 minutes from our house. But in this case, we was driving to Cleveland from our house. So we made that trip on the 18th, on the night of the 18th. And first of all, me and Mr. Bailey was both going on separate trips. So I was going on a girls trip with, this is something that we do annually for at least one of our birthdays. So every year we do one of our birthdays. So we can't do 4 trips. That would be nice, but we can't do that. So we do one trip. So this year it was for one of the ladies that her birthday was in February. So we went to Turks and Caicos, and they all live in Ohio. So I did not want to fly by myself. So I drove to Ohio to be able to fly with them. So me and Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey was going on a trip with the husbands. So when they decided like last minute, like, hey, let's all go, since they're going, let's all take a break and let's go too. So that's what they end up doing. And so they all went to Cape Coral in Florida for a fishing trip. So me and Mr. Bailey drove to Ohio, and of course on that night, we never even made it to the house. We actually met everyone it was like a local like bar or restaurant bar that they go to dance. It was like a line dance night. So of course we had to go and dance before we started our trip. So that was really nice. There was 2 instructors there. There were a couple, and they actually taught everybody, different line dances or whatever. For the most part, I watched. I didn't actually line dance for most of it. I just sat and watched, but I did get out there on the floor once or twice for some of the ones that I knew, but for the most part, I was just watching and learning. Guys, if you hear that water in the back, y'all know it wouldn't be Mr. Bailey if he didn't start the laundry while I'm doing the video. But anyway, so we actually stayed up probably to like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because our flight left at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and we had to go pick up one of my other aunts that live closer to the airport. And then, of course we had to go through security and everything, but we had to take 2 flights. Our first flight went to Miami. And so since Mr. Bailey and the other guys was taking the flight also to Florida, we all wasn't on the same flight because they was going on the other side of Florida, but we all went to the airport together, in separate cars. And Mr. Bailey helped us with our luggage and everything. And that first flight was to Florida, and then the next flight was to the actual island. Once we got on the island, we landed we had to get off on the actual runway, on the tarmac or whatever. So I think that's probably the 2nd or 3rd time that I had to actually get off on the runway. So, but it was, the weather was nice and everything. We got our ride and we made it to the village lobby, or should I say it was to the resort lobby. But this hotel is made up of a lot of villages, and I'll explain that pretty soon. But when we got to the lobby, they met us with cocktails, and they just like checked us in, made sure we had our card on file and everything. And they walked us to our room, which was, the resort is, the lobby is in the front of the building, so we had to walk to the back because we were closer to the ocean. We didn't have an actual ocean view, but we had like a partial ocean view. But our room was actually, we didn't have a room, we had like a villa. It is called the Key West 2-story bedroom concierge suite. So if you guys want to look up, this was, did I say that we were at Beaches Resort? We were actually at Beaches Resort. This is a part of Sandals. So we was at Beaches Resort in Turks and Caicos. They only have 2 beaches resorts. I think one is in Jamaica and the other one is in Turks and Caicos. So you guys look up Key West 2-story bedroom concierge suite. And the suite was actually, for us, it was about $3,400 a piece. I know that $3,400 sounds like a lot. So if you're like trying to take your family, that could be a lot of money for one family for the amount of days that we went. We went from Wednesday to Sunday. So it was 5 days, but I guess you really can't even count the 5th day. But when we walked in, we actually had to walk up the stairs. And when you got to the top of the stairs, there was a kitchen. And then you kind of turned right. And there was a living room and a dining room area. And there was also a bedroom and a bathroom on that floor. And then after that, you have to go up some more stairs, and there's another bedroom and another bathroom, which I missed at first. So I had to go back up the stairs because the lady who took us to the room, she actually showed us. She was wondering, like, was it a room another bathroom up there too? And sure enough, it was. And that's where I stayed. I stayed upstairs in that bedroom. Me and my aunt was supposed to share that room, so we shared it as far as clothes and getting ready. But she slept downstairs in that living room area because she didn't want to do those stairs all the time, even though she did it every day. I don't know, anyway, to get dressed, but maybe she was just trying to give me my privacy. But anyway, after we got there, we went and we started exploring the villages. There was like 4 or 5 different villages. We stayed in the Key West side, in the Key West village. There was the French village, there was the Italian village, and there was the Caribbean village. So actually, when we first got there, we didn't have a clue where we were going, and we was trying to go to different places. And we actually had a golf cart that took us, and instead of like taking us through the villages, they actually took us like through this tunnel, and we went down, like, I guess where the workers go, and we ended up like in another village that we was trying to get to that was next to us. So you can actually just walk through. If you just keep on walking, you just go through each village. So it's not like it's separated. So, but if you wanted to go to a certain restaurant or whatever, or a certain pool, because like they had like a kid, we stayed in it was kids stayed on our side, but we had like an adult only pool on our side. It was like a little more quiet on our side. But as you went on, if you wanted water slides or things like that, that was, like a little further down. But of course we ate. They had a lot of restaurants there and in each village. And they also had like food trucks and stuff. So we definitely ate on those. The beaches and the pools was beautiful. The beach water was just like clear. I mean, it was beautiful. As a matter of fact, we had like a free concierge boat tour that it came with the village, and if you wanted to go on there, we actually went out and they just kind of toured. Like we saw like Club Med and the Ritz-Carlton, but we also saw sharks in the water. Then they said these sharks. The guy actually said it. If I could find the clip, I'm gonna actually like put it on there so you can hear him saying that these sharks are like pets. I'm like, yeah, right. But anyway, after we met some cool people on the boat or whatever, of course we had some photo ops or whatever. And later on that day, we changed clothes. Was that day or the next day? I can't remember. All the days are running into each other, but we went off the resort and we went to something called the Fish Fry. And it's just like a bunch of vendors out there. They're selling food, they're selling souvenirs and everything. And that was okay. And the food was actually okay too, but it was this one line that was huge. It was so long. They had like these huge lobsters. I wish I could have got a picture of it, but I didn't, of somebody's, because if somebody at our actual table had like 4 of them. There was like a husband and wife and their kids. They all had like these huge like fried lobsters. But we didn't get that. We went for like the jerk barbecue and stuff like that. But once we got back on one of those days, they decorated the room for the birthday girl, which they actually did it 2 days in a row because they forgot like the flowers. And no, they got the flowers, but they forgot like the champagne and and the flowers. She had roses and different things like that but they brought cupcakes. Out of the 2 days they ended up bringing us so much stuff. But this place is all inclusive, so not only do you eat and drink, on the actual island, on the resort, you can also do the same thing in your room. So if you wanted a bottle of something, or if you wanted certain sodas, waters, or whatever, they make sure they stock the fridge, because as I said, we did have a kitchen in there, so that was nice. And we went to one of those nights, we went to that expensive club that I was talking about. I talked about it in yesterday's video. It was like, I can show the footage, but I can't let you guys hear because of copyrighted music that was playing in the back. But it was pretty hype. It was live, but we couldn't. We went there. We wanted to stay there until they closed, because the restaurant turned into a club at the end. It had like a, what do you call it? Like a rooftop bar, and then we also had a restaurant downstairs, and then at a certain time they took the tables out and it turned into into a club. We was trying to stay for the club part so that we can dance, but after seeing that bill and noticing Mr. Bailey is next to me laughing, guys, knowing that we was gonna have to stay there and at least probably buy something so that we can just stay around, and we just couldn't do it because it was too expensive there. So we just got a taxi back to the resort, and we got a taxi back to the resort, and we just finished our night at the resort. But the next day we went to the Clear Bottom photo shoot. You guys wanted to know what the Clear Bottom photo shoot was, and let me go to my text because she did tell me what it was. So okay, it was called Aqua Media TCI. So I'll make sure that I put a screenshot of it up on the screen, but it was Aqua Media TCI at 74 Moses Avenue. These guys did an amazing job. They put you on the boat, like on the sand, so you can make sure your feet's rinsed off for everything before you get in the boat. And then they bring you out and they have their drones and they actually pose you. So I have probably 100 different photos that I have from myself. So I do not know the exact price for this, because this was one of my aunts paid for all 4 of us to get our photo shoots. So I don't know the actual price, but you could go on the website that I just showed you. My guy name was who shot me was named Julian, and I think that he was the guy that one of my other aunts was talking to the whole time as far as getting everything set up. But this was beautiful. The water that I'm in, that's the actual ocean, and that's how clear the water is. And it was just beautiful. I didn't think that they were going to come out that nice, but these guys are professionals and they know, and they're young guys too, and they knew what to do and how to pose you and everything. And that was pretty nice. So then after that, the next day we had a red swimsuit photo shoot, and that came out nice too. It didn't come out as nice as I think like the one from the day before, but this was the one that I was saying that I spent most of my money out of the $200 and something that I spent while I was there. 100 of it was this, because I wanted to make sure that the birthday girl got her photo shoot. Her pictures that she wanted. So I got, I think, one of myself, and I made sure, and we got the digitals of of all of us together. So that was like the most expensive thing. But that day, it was actually, we was trying to hurry up and do the photo shoot before it rained, but it came out pretty nice. I think it was that same night, we went to the hibachi grill, that's the one thing that you had to make a reservation for. So we had made that before we even got there. So that actually was really, really nice. I didn't take as many photos or videos of that because, you know, like you think if you've been to one hibachi grill, you've been to them all. That was not the case. This cook was singing. He had us participating. And the food was also delicious. And it didn't taste like he even said, like, this is not your Benihana. So, but it came out really, really good. We went and did karaoke that night, and I pretty much stayed in the back and videoed and rooted everybody on. But a couple of my aunts got up and they sang, and then we wanted to dance, of course. So we was walking. I guess we was walking back to our room, and a security guard shouted from like up on a roof somewhere, and he was like, "Hey, come on up here. It's a club up here or whatever." And we was like, "No, it's okay." Then we thought about it. We was like, "Wait a minute, let's go up here to the club." And we went up there, and people had been saying like it doesn't be anybody up there, but I think that's because a lot of people don't know about it. And it was an actual like live club or whatever. And I went over to the DJ and asked him if he could play one song. And you know, once they see you dancing and then getting other people to dance. And then once, I guess people start hearing it, and once they start coming in and they were seeing us dance and they started joining in and everything. So that ended up being a fun night. But that was actually the night before we left, that we had to leave for the next day, which probably wasn't the greatest idea because we stayed up late, and yeah, we was tired the next day. So we got up the next day and we had breakfast. We went and got souvenirs, and then we had lunch, and we had our bags back at the room, and they had already took them. They just told them to leave them at the front door. So they went in and got our bags and took them up to the front for us. And we got on, once we had lunch, we basically went back to the lobby, and we got on another flight. We had to go to 2 flights again. So we had to go back out on the runway. Our plane was the last plane on the runway. So when I tell you we had to walk like 5 minutes to get to the plane, and good thing we didn't have to go up the stairs to the back, but we did have to go up the ramp because we were sitting closer to the front. So we actually went, got on the plane, and that flight went from, where did it go? We went to Charlotte first, and we had a later flight. Our flight left at 3:44, I think, and we went to Charlotte. I would never fly into Charlotte again when it's an international flight, because I've been on international flights where we have to, get our luggage and then recheck it in, and then we just go to our gate, after going through customs or whatever. But we had to go through customs, which was very easy. They had the little photo scan thing, and we checked rechecked our luggage in, and then we had to go all the way out and go back through security again. And mind you, we had a connecting flight, so that was very frustrating. We literally made it to our flight like with probably 5 or 10 minutes to spare because they were already boarding. So at least, I guess the good thing about it is, good thing we didn't have to wait around. So we end up, y'all, Mr. Bailey is showing me Uber right now. I think I'm about to hurry up and finish this video so I can go out. They're paying an extra $5.25 right now. But anyway, we got through and we got on the flight, and then we made it back to Cleveland, and Mr. Bailey was there waiting on me, and we actually made the almost 3-hour flight back to Michigan. And that's when when you guys didn't see me on the day that I got back, it was because I was so jet lagged. I just couldn't get it together that next day. But overall, the resort was beautiful. I would say for me, I don't know if Turks and Caicos, for me, for where we stayed, I don't know if that's a girls trip type of place. It's more like rather couples. Like if our husbands came with us, I think that would have been even better. It was a better kind of vibe like that, or even just our family. Like if it was just me, Mr. Bailey, and the kids, that would have been okay. But as far as like a party type of place, I just don't feel like that's the place to go, because it can be very expensive if you're trying to go off of the resort, depending on where you're staying. But overall, the place was beautiful. I would go back. Yes, I don't know if I would go back for a girls trip, but I would go back when I can afford for me when I can afford it. Because like I said, if me and Mr. Bailey was to go together, just for the room alone, not including flights, would be like $7,000. So I mean, that's if we was to get that room. Now they do have smaller rooms where it could have been like it's like $500 a piece for like some of their ones that's just like a room. That's, you know, that's still nice. So it still can be affordable, but it's still gonna be, you know, probably like about $4,000 or something. But yeah, so anyway, that was it for the vlog. I hope I got everything in there. I hope I answered your questions as far as how much everything cost with the village and the excursions and everything. But this did not cost me that much once I got there. So good thing I was able to pay over time. So it could be affordable if you're paying over time, and then once you get there, you really don't have to worry about paying too much. Maybe an excursion here or there, or like I said, if you want to go off of the resort. But for the most part, this is a really nice place to go. It's a very small island. It's islands, actually. You got South Caicos, Middle Caicos, North Caicos. So it's they actually even have a flight that you can go from like South Caicos to North Caicos. So it's definitely a small island. You can barely see it on the map. You have to zoom in really good in order to see the islands. But it is a definitely nice place, but expensive. So like I said, I hope I answered all your questions. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for making it to the end. Go ahead and just leave me a comment, and even if it's just an emoji, maybe put like a beach emoji or a surfing emoji or a sun emoji, just something. Let me know that you made it to the end, and because that does help us out here on the channel, letting YouTube know that we are engaging. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to start back to cash stuffing and budgeting this week. I'm going to actually do our budgeting for the month of March, and then we're going to do the budgeting for the first. When is the first? Let me look at the calendar. Today is Wednesday the 26th, so the first falls on this Saturday. Okay, so this is going to work out good. Okay, so you guys see this on Wednesday. So tomorrow on Thursday, we will have the monthly budget showing, you know, the monthly overview. And then on Friday, we would actually start the budget for the week. So I know it's starting the end of the week. So this time, instead of, I normally start our budget on Monday to Sunday, but I'm just going to do this from Friday the 28th. I mean, I'm going to do it on Friday the 28th, but it's going to be from Saturday the 1st all the way till, okay, that's not, okay, there we go. Saturday the 1st all the way till Sunday the 9th. So that's how the budget is going to go for the 1 week. Because I know some of you guys have been asking me, am I going to do a budget for this week? It's not going to actually be for this entire week because I just got back, of course. But it's going to start on Saturday the 1st to the 9th. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow with the monthly budget video.